Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Now, it is indeed June. Happy June everyone. We are now halfway through 2021. Where the hell did this year go? Honestly, I thought 2020 was going to be the only year where I would just lose everything in terms of a social life. But I guess 2021 is kind of the same vibe. Hopefully the next half of the year will be a bit better than the first half. But anyway, that's the point that we're talking about today. We've gone through half the year of 2021. At least I think so. There are 12 months in a year. June is the 6th month. So technically the true half would be June 15th. But you get what I mean. We're halfway through. It's time for a garage update and a garage tour. So I usually do 4 garage tours of my garage a year. You know, I do them in quarters. So the first, the first 3 months, so like March, and then June, and then the 9th month, which is September, and then December. So this is the halfway mark. Let's see where my garage is looking like. I have 1,364 cars, 157 commons, 145 uncommons, 209 rare, 246 super rare, 369 very nice ultra rare, 145 epics, and 93 legends. All I'm gonna say is that by the time I get to my quarterly update on my garage, so kind of the next one in September, I expect to be over 100 legendaries in September. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. I'm on 93 now, and I'm making it my goal to get over 100 legendaries by September. I want to get over 100 legendaries by the end of the year, and I think that's possible. I'm definitely sure that's possible. So let me give you a tour of Blossie's garage. Let's go. Now I'm gonna talk about the new stuff for the most part, the new stuff and my favorite stuff. So if I'm just skimming through the alphas and I'm skimming through the Caballero, I've talked about it in the past. I might give it a bit of a refresher to you guys, just in case that some of you watching might have not seen my older garage tours. Then I'll give you a little bit of a refresher, like how Pontiac Firebird, good car, you should have 2 of those. But I'm not going to jump into too much of a depth, especially for these commons, because I don't want the video to be too long. So guys, you know, have yourself a nice cup of coffee, a nice cup of tea or water or milk or whatever it may be. Sit back and relax and just have a look at my garage, and you know, kind of see, you know, if you want to take a pause, you know, you can pause the video whenever you want to see what are the upgrades on everything, I guess. If you have any questions on how I upgraded any of these cars, let me know down in the comments below. I will be happy to answer. In fact, ask me whatever car I have, okay? So it could be like, oh, Blossom, Chrysler Java, you know, or Java. I think it's Java. What's the tune on this? Well, it's 323. So if you ask me, anybody that asks a question on the tune of my cars in the comments below, I will reply. Remember back in the past in YouTube when I used to reply to every single comment I got, even the really useless comments when people just go first. I used to reply to those as well. I got sick of that. I don't reply to those anymore. But if you do ask me what are the tunes for any of these cars in the comments below, I promise I will answer every single one, unless you ask it twice. So let's say you ask what is the tune of my 2800, but someone else already did that. If someone else already did that, then you know I'm not gonna answer it again. You can just go look in the comments for that. But this one's 323, and then that's basically just my common collection. Now I've reviewed a lot of garages. I've reviewed like, I would say, well over 100 garages since I started garage review, and I have to say, compared to a lot of other bigger garages that I've compared with, like that I've reviewed, kind of like similar in my size, my common collection is actually really weak. What you saw over there is super weak because I have the bare minimum for commons. Like I have the Blossom choices, I have some of them in duplicates, and that's it. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing. I'm doing completely fine with the comments that I have, but what I'm saying is that I've reviewed a lot of other garages where people also have a lot of other comments, not Blossom choices, not even good comments, just random crap. And you know what? It's not bad to have random crap, because I feel like Top Drives and Hutch is slowly pushing their players to kind of have a variety, kind of like that Renault challenge that we had like a month ago. I think it was a month ago now. I haven't seen a challenge like that since, you know. We had the Vauxhall Opel challenge, but it was nowhere nearly as hard and as niche as the Renault challenge. So if we see more of those Renault challenges, then obviously Hutch is pushing us to go for a really deep variety in every single brand. And obviously if you have a really deep variety in every single brand, that's basically just having every car in the game. So that's definitely what Hutch is pushing for, and that definitely is like the end goal. But I still stand by my strategy of specializing in the game, especially if you're a newer player, or if you're just, you know, a free to play, or even if you're an intermediate player, I would still go for the specializations, you know? Instead of trying to put too much on your plate, I could make a whole new video about this, and I really should make a refresher. But instead of putting everything on your plate when you first start the game, trying to collect everything, personally, I would say go look for 2-3 avenues, specialize in those, and then everything that the beautiful thing about Top Drives is whatever you specialize in, it always branches off to everything, you know? It branches off to newer things. So for example, for Dodge, I don't want this to be a specialization tips and trick video, but like, you know, this is still a garage tour, but like, I'll give you an example of what I mean, because like, for me, I started off with Dodge, right? So I have a super strong Dodge hand, and that branched off to really good saloons, and really good 5-seaters, and really good dragsters, and really good American cars. And then, you know, I had all those branches to work off, or all those routes to work off, and then once I had really good saloons, then from saloons, maybe I could work on, you know, if I was working on saloons, I was branched off Dodge, I'd be collecting a lot of BMWs in the saloon category, and next thing you know, that's another branch or another route that's BMW, and then I can work on BMW special. You know, it kind of works that way. So instead of trying to put everything on your plate when you start playing the game, I would say always just go for 2-3 avenues and branch out from there. I think that's the way to play. But anyway, these are my uncommons. There's nothing too new here besides all of the American Frontier cars. But like I said, well, not like I said, but as you guys know, American Frontier has been in the game since December of 2020, and that's one thing I want to talk about. We haven't had an update, a car update, in over 6 months. The thing is, the fatigue when it comes to playing Top Drives isn't as significant as it was during the break from GE to ER. For some reason, in between GE and ER, I felt like the wait was just a lot more tedious than it is from American Frontier to whatever is coming next. And the main reason for that is because American Frontier provided so much depth in the update, so I wasn't bored of it quickly. I remember European Revolution to American Frontier, everybody got bored of Top Drives so fast from that. And that was because, you know, European Revolution, I've talked about this before, brought no depth to the game. It brought no depth to the variety. It just brought a bunch of legendaries. But what's the odds of you getting a Koenigsegg, you know? Like, I know a lot of people that have never unpacked a Koenigsegg. Android Fanatic has never unpacked a Koenigsegg. He's won a Koenigsegg, but he's never unpacked one. So, you know, European Revolution brings no depth to the game, so there was really nothing to work with. At least American Frontier, I don't feel the same kind of, you know, no update fatigue, because I'm still working on American Frontier cars till this day. Obviously, I've already finished the Supers and most of the Ultras, but there's still a couple of rares out there that I still don't have. Obviously, I've already unpacked every single American Frontier car. It's just that I've decided not to keep some, but then it gives me the choice. I can keep it in the future. But anyway, we blitzed through the uncommons. There was like literally nothing to talk about. You guys already know my collection. I got like 5 DB5s and 3 Maserati Indies and all that kind of stuff. Rares? I maxed out some new stuff in the rare collection, I think, from the past, like the TVR Tasman 350i. The thing that I want to talk about the most would probably be super rares and ultra rares, because in between the garage tour I did in March and the garage tour I'm doing now, I would say the biggest changes went into, well, legendaries, but I would say super rares and above, so super rares and legendaries. In terms of commons and uncommons and rares, I don't think it changed too much. I guess the BMW 525, you know, it's a pretty new acquisition. This is my most recent max out. I maxed it out this morning, and I've owned the car for literally a day. So yeah, the BMW 525, it's funny because this car was actually useful in the German standard tire event, but I only maxed it out after it ended, and I only got the car after that event ended. But I'm not too bothered about it because I ended tier 2 in that event anyway. I got nothing from that pack. You know, I got like ceramic, super rare. I know, I stopped doing that on my channel, you know? Like, in the past, I remember I used to record every single event that ended, but now I just don't do that anymore, which is kind of a waste, I guess, because I tier 2 or tier 1 almost every single event that I'm in, so that is always a guaranteed, like, ceramic pack or carbon fiber depending on the event. But I don't usually record those because for some reason I have this weird stigma where I think that my luck is pretty good off camera now. I mean, when you think about it, last month in May I unpacked 8 legendaries, unpacked and won 8 legendaries, and half of them 4 were unpacked off camera. I think it was like the roof RTR, one of the Bentleys, and I'll get to them when we get to them. But anyway, let's have just a moment of pride for my Dodge Charger RT collection. Look at that. I have 10 max now, so that's a beautiful, beautiful picture right there. Just amazing. You know, on my iPhone it fits perfectly because I have 10, and then on my PC it fits perfectly because in PC you can only see 8 cars in one screen, but on the iPhone you can see 10 cars in one screen. It was perfect at, 3 days ago, but ever since I think I acquired that new BMW, it shifted my collection. So now you can see it's like 1 Charger, 1 Hornet, and 1 Charger and 1 D Tomaso. That is annoying me. I need to add another car so it ends up being nice and symmetrical. Again, symmetrical, that's the word. But I do love my Charger RT RVs, man. I'm never selling one, I'm never fusing one. Every single Charger RT I get, I max. And when you think about it, American Frontier came out 6 months ago, over 6 months ago. I've only unpacked 10 of those. In 6 months of me doing 1 million pack openings and opening carbon fibers here and there, I've only unpacked 10 of those Chargers. I expect it to be at like 50 by now, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So a lot of these you've seen before. I think in between the last garage review and now, I've maxed out 2 more Vauxhall Chevettes. And that's really just a lot of what I've been doing. I've just been maxing out a lot more of the same car. So I have 4 Chevettes, I have 10 Chargers, I have 4 Demon Roadsters, which ended up being super useful in the 2007 tune-up. And it just really goes to show that maxing duplicates, I know some players don't like to max duplicates. You know, they're collectors, they want to go for the variety. But, you know, having 4 max Demon Roadsters, you know, it pays off. I used literally 3 on the 2007 tune-up and it got me through super fine. So it was a super easy challenge for me as well. So it's always good to have duplicates like 2 Skylines, 2 Ghiblis, 2 Elises, and I'm really thinking about getting a second HRV because it's the best rare for car park rain. So there you go, it's the best rare car for car park rain. It actually beats the Mazda MX-5, so that's something to really keep in your mind. We have 3 Escort rally specs. I think I got 1 more since the last garage tour, and then nothing much here really changed. All the 39s really stayed the same. So moving on to super rares now. Now believe it or not, I don't like super rares. But, well, actually, everybody knew that, but believe it or not, I actually maxed a lot of super rares since the launch garage tour. So let's see if I can find any of them. First of all, 2 more ELRs to add to the collection. So I have 6 maxed ELRs. I remember I had 4 maxed in my launch garage review because, I watched it before I recorded this. So I have 6 of that now, which is a really huge number, and I'm probably going to get a 7th one max, which is going to be the highest amount of duplicate max super rares that I have in my garage, 7. By a long shot. I think the second place, it's 4. I think that's the next number. I got a second Dodge Avenger RT. Fantastic car. You should definitely get this. It's a Blossom choice. I think it's a Blossom choice at least. If not, it should be. Fantastic little car. I use it in clubs all the time because it's such a great RQ saver for saloons. For city streets medium. 5089 for RQ41 and medium is actually really, really good, and that's why I have 2 of those maxed. I maxed out a Volkswagen Beetle. You guys know me, I do not like my Volkswagens, but this one is probably one of my newer super rares, mainly because it has that 2010 to 2014 German tag, which is probably going to be useful for whatever, it's the Citroen GT, for the Citroen GT Legendary Challenge. My 2010 to 2014 German high-end is really good, but my low-end is really weak, and so because of that, I had to get in the Volkswagen Beetle. If you saw my RQ39s in my rare collection, you would probably notice that I also have another Volkswagen that I recently maxed out there. That is for the same reason. It's for the tune-up challenge. Not the tune-up challenge, but for the Citroen GT challenge. That's probably going to come out in about 2 days or so while I record this video. I also worked on a lot of new Japanese cars, so Corn, I think you'd be really happy to hear that. Honda Accord Type R was one of the few, or one of the many Japanese super rares that I've maxed out. We passed a couple already. I guess the Colt was another one. I don't want to jump all the way back, but yeah, I recently maxed out the Colt recently, as in like, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. When I mean recently, I mean since the last garage update. And then another one that I recently maxed that was also Japanese was the Honda Integra Type R. So we were back at 43, right, with whatever the car was, the Honda or whatever. So we'll continue with that. Where is it? It's, yeah, the Honda Accord. There are a couple more Japanese super rares that I didn't max, which I don't know why I decided to do so. I just felt like, you know what, I'm gonna, focus on my Japanese cars this week. So another one that I did was the Mazda Rx-8 Spirit R. Now I know, this is a really, really fantastic car for 44 RQ, 95 handling, and a lot of people, I would say, already had this max. It's one of the early game cars to max, but I recently maxed this like 2 weeks ago. That's mainly because like I always neglected Japan. I always focused on the US, and if it wasn't the US, I was probably focusing on Germany or Britain. So, you know, finally, for some reason, like I said, for 1 week, I was like, let's just focus on Japanese cars. And I finally finished off the Mazda Rx-8. I don't really like this car. The main reason why I don't like this car is because it feels like an obligatory car to max. It's something that every player needs max in their garage, and I really didn't want to do it. So I had this car in my garage for a really long time. Well, actually 34 days is not too long, but I guess I've had variations of the Spirit art throughout in my garage for years, but only recently have I decided to finish it off. Here's a new acquisition, the Ford Fiesta. Yeah, there goes the glitch. The Ford Fiesta ST. I maxed this for Surf Rat because I got this from a 1 million pack opening, and he was like, I dedicated the last card to him, and he was like, okay, well, you gotta max it now. And I was like, okay, how do you want me to max it? And I was really hoping it was gonna say 969, but it said 996, so that's exactly what I did. Ford Fiesta, my drag spag Ford Fiesta, 27 races, 100% win ratio. Yo, Surf Rat, if you're watching this video, I just want to let you know that as it stands right now, Ford Fiesta ST, your drag spec Ford Fiesta ST has a 100% win ratio. I know why it has a 100% win ratio. It's probably because I race it against only bots in clubs, and that's it. So yeah, moving on throughout the collection, a lot of these cars you've seen before. Mini Cooper, I hate this car. I had to max it for like the hot hatch tune-up just because I wanted the carbon fiber. Obviously, I didn't do well in the final, but I just wanted the carbon fiber. I got the carbon fiber, so we got through. We got through. It was the TCRs that carried me, I think. But yeah, moving on, as you can see, I had, I think, 2 Miura P400s, or actually, maybe even 1. I think I had 1 Miura P400 in my last garage tour. Now I have 4, and as I said, a lot of this has just been working on duplicates. Bmw 740i is a new acquisition as well. It's kind of this new thing I've been doing in my pack openings. I feel like every 1 million pack opening I do, I just adopt like one super rare and max it. And that 740i is kind of like the Ford Fiesta ST, you know? It's like, you know, I had a good 1 million pack opening. I'm just gonna choose a random super rare and max it just for the variety, just for the collection. Who knows, you're gonna need it one day. Ford Focus RS is another super rare that I maxed out recently. Come to think of it, I actually maxed out a lot of super rares in between March and June. I don't know why. I think one of the main reasons for this is because I'm running out of ultra rares to max. To be completely honest, I've ran out of ultra rares to max. Every ultra rare that I have in my fuse pile right now, I don't even want to touch. But I have to. I had to at least 2 days ago because I had like 55 ultra rares in my fuse pile, and I didn't want to touch a single one of them, but I didn't want to fuse them immediately as well because you never know when the next Dodge Viper ACRX final is going to be, so I need to be ready for that. But then I also ran out of garage slots, so I had to max a crap ultra, and I'll show that to you in a bit. I also maxed it out in a pretty cursed way. So here's my ultra collection. I take a lot of pride in this. I have 317 max ultras, 316 or 317, something like that. I'm really proud of it, and I would say I'll give a shout out to anybody that actually manages to find out how many duplicates of each ultra I have. So like 3 Elise Sports, or 2 of these, or 2 of that. I got a lot. I got 2 Megane 4 RSs. I think that's a fantastic little French car. 2 Solstice, 2 OPC, 4 Opel Adam R2s. Now, what you want to see here, if you play a lot of clubs, take a look at this garage, take a pause, and take everything in, okay? Because I'm making a lot of money from clubs from all of these cars. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed and you're gonna be like, oh, I don't have a garage this big, that's why I'll never play clubs. Here's the thing, you will be as successful in clubs as I am if you had one of these particular cars that I have in duplicates. So like if you had 1 Charger 3, you'd be as successful as I would be with 3 Charger 3s. The only reason why I have 3 Charger 3s is because I can, you know, squad depth, you know, squad rotate. So I can get in 15 races, 20 races, and turn over events really quickly. But when it comes to a single event, I'm only really using 1 Charger 3 in my hand, sometimes 2, but usually just 1. So if you just have 1, you can be in the same position with me, as in get 7,400 or top 10 in silver participation. The only difference of having multiple, like I do, is so I can have quick turnaround. So, you know, for your case, you might get, you know, top 10 and silver participation, but then, you know, you can't join another event as quickly because your car needs servicing. For me, having duplicates is just, you know, skipping the servicing time, you know, going from event to event to event to event. That's why I love duplicates so much, especially for me when I'm playing clubs all the time, when I'm making money all the time. I need quick turnovers. I can't just sit around and wait for servicing to end, and I can't just waste my gold on servicing cars. I've done that in the past, but I try my best not to. But anyway, are you still counting those duplicates, whoever that wants to do that? Because as you can see, I got 2 Miura SVs, 3 EVs. I do have 4 EVs, but I really only count them when I have them maxed. So yeah, I got 3 EVs, 2 Daytonas. Honestly, I should just do a garage tour just for Dodge. I think that's what I need to do again. I got 4 Caterham 270s, fantastic club car, and boom, here you go. This was the result of my incredible boredom, okay? Bentley Arnage T. I maxed this yesterday. I maxed it yesterday. I got it a while ago. I got it 12 days ago, but I maxed it yesterday. And as you can see, I did a drag spec. The only reason why I maxed it was because I ran out of slots in my garage. I ran out of slots and I was like, okay, well, I need to actually just spend super rares now. I had two options. I could sell the super rares for 2,500 or max out a random ultra rare. I decided to max out a random ultra rare, and I did it in 332 anyway, because if I 233'd it, I mean, come on, what is it, 85 handling, 84 handling? That's not really gonna get you anywhere now, is it? Especially when you think about it, the BMW 640D is also medium. That has 87 handling. So I'd rather have my 640D on the twisty stuff for it being a medium ground clearance car, and then I have my Arnage for the drag stuff for it being a medium ground clearance car. We don't see, 2-kilometer drag speed bump or whatever it's called enough. I wish we saw that more, so cars like this would be a bit more useful. Well, this car wouldn't even be that useful. It would need to have that track set, and it also would have to be UK ×5, because if we're just talking about medium ground clearance dragsters in general, the Dodge Charger Daytona is the best one to go for. It has the MRA, the 0 to 60, the top speed, and the ground clearance. So yeah, Daytona, I think I should get a third one max. I had a third one, but I fused it, and maybe I'm starting to think maybe I should get a third one max. Another car that I need to max is my second Maybach 62, so that's probably next on the list. But moving on, I'm just really proud of my ultra red collection. There's a lot of BS in here, like the BMW M3 and my Jaguar XJS and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really proud of it, you know. It's just, I don't know, it's like kind of for bragging rights. Not really for bragging rights, it's kind of like, look at me, I'm an idiot. That's really why I chose the Bentley, just for the reaction. I maxed it for the reaction, you know. I maxed it 322, I posted it in my Discord server, and everyone was like, Blossom, why are you so dumb? That was why. I maxed that Bentley just so you could call me dumb. It's weird. I guess I am dumb for thinking that's funny, but I found solace in that, so that's why I maxed the Bentley. I got 2 340Rs and 2 Maserati Quattroportes, as well as 2 Charger SRT8s. I mean, I have 3, but I really only count the ones that are maxed. 2 Daytonas and 2 SRT8s. I really need to just do a garage review for Dodge, but I kind of already do that all the time whenever there's Dodge carbon fibers out. So I'm just gonna wait for Dodge carbon fibers to come out again, and I can show off my Dodge collection. I am genuinely always proud of that. I have 3 Max AMG G63s, and I think earlier you would have seen that I also had 3 Max Trailblazer SSs. 2 Max Aspen hybrids, literally only use them for clubs. 2 twin turbos. I should get a third twin turbo max just because I can. 2 Virages, 2 DB3SS, a 450 SCAC, and of course my army of 6 Max Turbo Martinis. It's actually crazy. I never use the Turbo Martinis, but they are still my most common max duplicate ultra rare. I don't have any other ultra rare where I have 6 of max, let alone 5. I think after 6 the number is 4. I have 4 M5s, but only 3 are max. We have seen a couple 4s already though, right? Because we saw the Atom army. The Atom I had 4, and we'll see more coming on in a bit. I have 3 RT10s. What else do I have? There's a Porsche Collection, obviously. I got 2 911 RSs, 718 Cayman, 2 718 Boxsters. One is is 323, this one is 323, and this one is 233. Obviously, this car I got a really long time ago. It's a really old car, as you can see, 1,129 days. That's why it's 323. It's an old soul. You know, all the older Ultra Rares in my garage are going to be the wrong fuse because I thought 323 was better back in the day. I got my army of Escort Rally specs. However, I only have 3 max out of 5, so it's not really in that exclusive range of 4, but here we go. Golf GTI TCR, I got 4 of those max. The best Volkswagen in the game, in my opinion. 3 Malus, but only 2 max, 2 Timuras, 2 Boxer Spiders, and here's another group of 4, the 924 Carrera GTS Rally. I have to say, I really want to get a 3rd Timura. I would love to have 5 max Timuras. I would max 5 Timuras in a heartbeat, but I only have 2. 3 Lancer Evo 4s. That's definitely going to be 4 max when I get a 4th one. What else do I have? I got a little bit of Bentleys over here. 030. I got 2 030s. Finally got a second 030 because I never opened the Fiat CFs. I just don't want to waste my gold like that. So both those 030s came from ceramic packs. And here's my last group of 4. I have 4 max BTRs. Now, like I said, I don't have any Ultra Rares max in quantities of 5. The BTR could very well be the first one because I'm most likely going to max my 5th BTR 332. So I know I said earlier that I don't have a lot of Ultra Rare projects, but then again, I've also said that, oh, I should max this and max that. But when you guys realize what I'm talking about is that, you know, all of my Ultra Rares are like duplicates. They're all duplicate projects. I don't really have a lot of like Ultra Rares that are cars that I don't have and need at the same time. I guess you can kind of say it's suffering from success in a sense. But yeah, it's just the fact that when I'm getting to like the 5th or the 4th duplicate car that I'm maxing out, the motivation just isn't there anymore because in the mind it's kind of like, oh, Blossom, you already have 3 of these max. Why do you need a 4th one? Well, the answer is always clubs. But then, you know, it's just less motivation. You get all the motivation when you max a car for the first time, and then for the second time, then the 3rd time and the 4th time, it kind of just wears off. So here are my epics, nothing too new here. Every single new RQ like 65 to 70 epic that I've gotten in between March and now, I've basically just sold and or fuse. So you can't sell and fuse, but sold or fuse. So there's nothing much here. Bmw M2 Delimited. I mean, all I want to say is that this is a car that I've had in my garage forever. I got this back when I was in New York, and as you can see, 591 days old. I really want to max this. If you guys don't know, the Bmw M2 is my favorite BMW of all time, and is really like one of those kind of attainable dream cars that I want to buy. My sights aren't that low though. I think attainable dream car would be like Mustang Shelby Cobra, or even like, I don't know, Porsche 959, cars that are worth millions. I think that one day I'll be able to get them, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed. I think I will, if I work super hard. But you know, on the more reasonable price range, the BMW M2 definitely is one of those cars I want. Now, I went back a little bit because I want to talk about my most current project. That's the Dodge Charger RT Scat Pack. I just got in a fuse in earlier today, so it was at 121, and now it's at 122, and then I'm probably gonna get it to 222, you know, after this video. But yeah, this is my next project. I'm gonna max out the Scat Pack. If you're wondering how I'm gonna max out the Scat Pack, after really long thoughts and consideration, I have decided to go 233 on the Scat Pack, just because it doesn't have that much MRA, and it actually handles pretty well for its niche being American low RQ epic saloon. I know it's very niche, but you know, usually when you have a garage like mine, you're already focusing on super small things like that, super minute details like that. So moving on now, we got a bunch of American Frontier Dodges, 2 Sidewinders, which I literally got on the same day. This is 8 days old, and the, oh no, not that again. What is it, 74? Was it 74? Or is it 75? I think it was 75. So this was 8 days old, and this one is, please don't give me the glitch, thank you. It's 9 days old. Yeah, it was in the same 24-hour period, but it was like, I think 16 to 18 hours apart. So I think it's very rare where we'll see them with the same day, but they were pulled in between a 24-hour period, that's what I mean. And of course, we have my green, my army, my green hell, my green Challenger SRT Hellcat army. I got 6 of them, 3 of them maxed, and we're gonna see more of that when it comes to the Chargers. 2 M3 CSs, we got a GTSR concept. Really happy I pulled this car, I love that. 2 wide bodies, perfection by the way. Pulled both of them dead on my birthday. So my birthday was 153 days ago. There you go, December 27th. 97% win ratio on that bad boy. Raced it 238 times. Cadillac CT6, this is one of my passion projects which I maxed out. And then we have my white army with the green army, now the white army, the Charger Srt Hellcat army, and once again same to the Challenger, I have 3 out of the 6 maxed. So I do have a lot of maxed Hellcats. I think I have like 7 maxed Hellcats in my garage. And then there you go, that's the end of the epics. Before we get into the legendaries, all 93 of them, I feel like I always have to give a shout out to my Subaru Legacy, because I have a lot of pride in my Subaru Legacy over here, just because it is my oldest car. As you can see, I've owned it for 1,364 days. Absolute madness. And then some other cars that I need to give, you know, kind of recognition to is Tahoe. Now, I already forgot what Tahoe's RQ is. 55. It goes all over the place. It used to be 63, then it went down to like 52, and now it's at 55. It's because of the hill climb bonus. It went back up again. But yeah, you know, this car won me my demon on the first time, so I got to give it a little bit of a shout out. 865 days, 488 races, 62% win ratio. And the last ultra rare that I want to give a shout out to is, I know we talked about it briefly, is my Bmw M5, and I'm pretty sure that my drag spec Bmw M5 is indeed the oldest one I have, and it's the first ever ultra rare that I maxed. So 1,349 days, 1,414 races. This is the first ultra rare I ever maxed, so huge fan of that car, absolutely loving it. But anyway, let's end off my garage review, or that's my garage tour. You guys can review my garage, but I'm gonna end off my garage tour with my 93 legendaries, starting off with a bunch of RQ80s, literally a whole screen of RQ80s, 2 AMG GTSs, Sport SVR, Evora Sport 410. I gotta say, man, I love Mercedes, and I really want to max out a high-end Mercedes, but like, I'm not gonna do it for this, not for an RQ80. If this was an epic, it would be a fantastic epic, and if I found out that these were going epic, if it ever did, I wouldn't mind that. I would keep both of them in my garage. I wouldn't sell them. I would keep both of them in my garage and probably max them out, because those cars are fantastic. DB11, BMW, I mean, they're fantastic if you can max them out and if it's an epic. As a legendary, they're not. We have my Superlight. This is a new one as well. Also, quick shout out to the Peugeot army, because I do have the Holy Trinity. For those that don't know what the Peugeot army I'm talking about, we're just gonna go back to like 67 or something like that. 66. Yeah, here we go. Here's the army. Can we get all 3 of them in one screenshot? No, we can't. So we can get 2 here with the 207 and the 208, and then we have the Maxi at 65, which is another project I need to finish. As you can see, it's 112, so I definitely need to finish this off for clubs. It's just that I've been fine in front wheel drive clubs without the 306, so that's why I haven't been through a rush to max it. But yeah, the rest of these is I think we skipped a little bit. Yeah, Aero Atom 3.5. This is still bone stock, by the way. I won this for the Demon rerun. It was in the Owners Challenge 403 days ago. 94% races, 78% win ratio. Not gonna lie, a lot of these cars that I say are trash, usually they have high win ratios, and that's usually because I use trash cars to race against bots in clubs. And when you race against bots in clubs, that's literally just a free win. I never run my good cars against bots. So, you know, I've had people think, oh, Blossom, what if you just put Hollywood against bots just so, you know, her win ratio is better than it actually is? That isn't the case. I'm not going to waste my fantastic and upgraded legendaries on bots. If you're going to win against bots of whatever car you choose, I'm going to use the fusibles like all the time, you know? Like, I'll use my best cars when I'm actually racing against actual people in clubs, because that is my best hand. So yeah, you know, that's why. So Hollywood's races are all legit. We'll get to her in a bit. This is an off-camera pull, by the way. Pulled this, what, 2 weeks ago? 26 days ago, so almost a month ago. Bentley Continental GT number 9. I think my most recent legendary that I pulled is the Rover, I think. Yeah, I think it's the SVR, the 21 Savage car. And I pulled that 11 days ago. Actually, is it? I feel like I missed. No, my most recent legendary is the Lamborghini Huracan Spider. We'll get to that in a bit. That was an off-camera legend as well. Maxed out 959. Every time I look at this, I kind of just think of the Jesko now. I'm not like it's just mixed feelings. It's such a bad car in the game, but it's such an amazing car in real life, and it's my favorite German car of all time, for crying out loud. So I can't be too mad that I maxed out the 959. Gt2 Rs is another car that I really want to max. It's 15 out of 24. It's 1 upgrade away from being 2 stars and 3 upgrades away from being maxed. I really want to max an Gt2 Gt2. I just need more of a reason to finish it off. It's such a good car. It's in that 2010 to 2014 German car range, but I know I already have enough to beat the Citroen GT, so I don't need to put any more fuses in that. I got 2 TAs. Once again, off-camera pull. This wasn't from a ceramic though. This was from an off-camera Dodge carbon fiber. And then obviously here's Hollywood. So as I said, let's talk about Hollywood for a bit. 6,011 races, 98% win ratio. Fantastic little beast. And then we have my SRT Demon. 6,329 races, 95% win ratio. I mean, those two are just absolutely beautiful. 86 RQ is definitely my thing, isn't it? I have, I think, 4 max legends that are 86. The 959, the TA, the ACR, and the Demon. That's kind of mad. That's kind of mad. I got the GT90, I got some Murcielagos, and now we're going to just see a crap ton of Lamborghinis. Reventon, I got the Gumpert Army as well. I got my one-handling Fuse 911 Turbo. And of course, my next legendary project is the Viper GTSR. I'm slowly finishing it off. Only 6 more epics, and the Viper will be done, as you can see. Currently, it's at 369. The next Fuse, I'm probably going to put it into weight, and then I'll finish it off with engine, and we'd be done with that. And then I would have every single Dodge Legend max besides one, besides 2, but the other one's a prize car. Here's my most recent legend. It's the Huracan Spider. I got this, I think, a week ago. 5 days ago, 2 races, 100% win ratio. Obviously, used it against bots in clubs. And then, yeah, NSX, 650S. Basically, if the car is stock, it is used against bots in clubs. If the car has upgrades in it or fuses in it, even at 1 star, I do not use it against bots in clubs, because what I do is that whenever I go into like a bot event in clubs, which is usually like no opponents, you just raise hutch bots, I always filter by whatever the requirement is, and I filter by unlocked, because all my fuse material is unlocked. So I would just use those cars. When it comes to legendaries, obviously they're all locked, but I would just use the stock ones anyway. And then here's the top end of my garage. So nothing much has changed in terms of the top end. Nothing new here. I've had all these cars since March of 2021. Nothing too new. I would say the newest, the most high-end car that I've gotten recently is the Jesko at 95 RQ. Everything else has kind of been around since the last garage review or garage tour. Why do I always call it garage review? It's a garage tour. But anyway, let me show you my fuse material real quick. So if I go into, where is it? Oh, this is gonna shock some people, I bet. Unlocked. 31 fuse epics and 52 ultra rares. So basically what this means is whenever there's a tri-series next and I need to go all in, I'm capable of maxing 2 legendaries and 3 epics. And well, there you go. That's all you need, right? 2 legendaries and 3 epics max to get tier 1. So I'm prepared for that. Even if I have 0 out of the 5 key cars, that would mean that I have enough fuse material. If I get lucky enough, I get 5 key cars from the carbon fibers, and I'll have enough to max them all out. So if you're interested to see what are my max epics and ultra rares, you'd be surprised. I have a lot. I have a lot of really good epics. But when you think about it, RS7 I have 2, RS6 I have 2, S8 it sucks now. ML63 I'm most likely going to keep. In fact, a lot of these epics I like a lot, and they're probably not going to be fused away anytime soon. But a lot of them is kind of like, oh, if I was in a last resort situation, I would have these cars on the ready to get rid of. But most of the cars that I would get rid of, like lickety split, would be like the 911 Turbo, the C8, the CLK. I actually really like the Jaguar XKR, so I'm probably not going to get rid of that. But yeah, the problem with me is that I hold so much sentimental value to a lot of these cars. And once again, as you can see, my ultra rare fuse, they're all duplicates. I have 4 BTRs already. I have a Metropolis, I have a Boxster, I have 2 Maloos and 3 Escort Rally specs. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. The motivation to max a duplicate of a single ultra rare, it kind of decreases when the amount of cars of that same car you have increases. choices, if that makes sense. But that being said, I'm most likely going to get a 5th BTR just so I can have a full head of max BTRs. But yeah, you know, a lot of these are duplicates. I got 3 520Ds max, an Evo 1 max, I got 2 Civic Type Rs maxed, 3 Dodge Circuit EVs, all that kind of stuff. But that really is my fused material. Outside of those cars, there's still a lot of garbage in here, like the Acura RSX and the Volvo XC90 and the Mercedes-Benz E500, which a lot of people say that this car is actually pretty good. It's just that, I don't know. Wasn't this car 50 as well? I thought it used to be 50, but now it's 51. Huh. But anyway, it's not really a car that I really want to max out too soon. But that's going to be it, guys. That is my garage for the halfway point, I guess the halfway update for 2021. So let me know what you think. And also, a question of the day. If you stuck around this far, I got a question for you. Let me know how many cars you have in your garage. But with that said, I hope you guys have a great day. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
I bring the toast in the back and we going berserk with the guns on the rack, and we taking account to the sound of the crack. Running from us with the pop and the, cause we're making the moves and the sound of the P. Calling the shots, bitch looking at me, and we taking account to the flow in the back with the drop in the cash. You know this ain't a prank. Moving like water, talking with fire. Bounce back undercover to mama's desire. Keep riding the flames like a man on a mission. Rejected again, but you better go listen. Pop up at Billy, run up the Billy. My face on the boards and you all gonna see me. I whip my wrist to look guys, it's Yachty. Flexing the club, something sincerely Louis. Hey, yeah.